States and of this state, so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof. I, Rick Nelson, David Berry, Walter Hoffman, do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties incumbent upon me as an appeals board member. Rick is a 1-year term, Walter is a 2-year term, and David, you did the 3-year term. Because you were the last one.
Yeah.
So I just need, you were the first one, so we need you to sign
Okay.
that for me.
But for understanding purposes, this is everybody's the first time.
Yeah, pretty much, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, we need pens here.
Mm-hmm.
And bring them up, so, yeah.
I know.
I would have brought a pencil.
That's right. Because I could have arrested him, hopefully that bites.
If it doesn't, there's a whole selection there.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the
What do we got here?
7-2.
Yeah. Well, I'm working on 27 budget already. So. All right, have at it, it's all yours.
Okay,
Did you start those?
I did. So I'm Joelle Corey. I am the code enforcement officer and your liaison through this process. Okay. So first order of business, according to the agenda, which I printed and I don't know what I did with, I'll go find it, is you need to elect your officers. You need a chairman, chairperson, you need a vice chairperson, and a secretary. We have a recording secretary, which will be Amy Henley. So the secretary just will make sure what she submits is accurate. So I'll leave you to discuss that amongst yourselves and who's got the most board experience, who wants to be chair. Don't everyone raise their hand at once.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'll go get the
Okay,
agenda.
chair, vice chair, secretary.
Correct.
What
Someone needs to
do
nominate
you want to be?
one or the other.
You guys have both served on planning.
No, planning board.
On planning.
Yeah, years and years and years ago.
Yeah. That's more experience than I have.
Okay. I was gonna say I was the last one selected, so I could be the secretary, but I don't care. What would be to keep stuff going?
Yeah. Pretty much Joelle will,
I mean, she
Yeah.
knows more about it than.
yes, she'll give you guys direction
Yeah.
and stuff, so.
I nominate myself for whatever has the least responsibility.
Well, I'll be chairman if it's a figurehead position.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'll do the vice.
Okay. That's
And you're secretary.
less of a figurehead
Okay.
position.
Do we want
So there we
motions
go.
and seconds?
Yeah, probably.
So somebody
Okay.
needs to, one of you needs to make a motion to elect him as the secretary.
Go ahead, give the secretary.
Or
I
elect him
make
as
a
the
motion
chair.
that we do what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye, seconded.
All
So-
those in favor, can we vote for us 3-3-3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was it, chair, vice chair, and secretary?
Yeah, okay, so I just want to write some names down here, because I don't have those name tags in front of me, because I don't know you guys.
They are on your agenda,
Okay,
right here.
okay.
Okay?
You're Walter?
I'm Walter.
Okay, so you're secretary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need a notebook or anything, Walter?
I've got one.
Okay.
So now that you have your officers and you are the chairman, please verify that you have met the quorum requirements in the agenda item number 1, please.
Attendance, 3 members required. We have met the requirements. Okay.
Thank you.
On this.
We've already done number 2.
Yeah.
So they elected the officer, so Walter made a motion to elect David as the chair, Rick seconded, and then they did it unanimously voted. They should vote each individual
Each
position.
individual one.
Yes, please.
So somebody needs to
Nominate Rick.
nominate Rick for
Okay,
vice
yeah.
chair.
I'll nominate Richard for vice chair.
Second the motion.
In favor?
All those in favor?
All those in favor, yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. And then the same thing for Walter for secretary. Somebody nominate Walter.
I'll nominate Walter for secretary.
I second that.
favor?
And, it's David,
Yep.
I nominate David for chairman.
Just to reiterate that.
We did that already. Well,
Yeah, we did that already. Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
We're good with
excellent,
that then.
all right.
Well, sometimes they do vote twice.
Sometimes. So I believe
I'm
you're
not
up to
going
number
there.
4, Mr. Chairman.
Minutes of the prior meeting,
Well, that was easy.
none?
None.
Oh, you've already got none in there.
Uh-huh.
All right, correspondence received,
None.
yeah, you have an appeal in front of you, but that has nothing to do.
That's not the correspondence.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
That's under business.
Old business, none, okay, new business, the Village of Timberline. Planning board application number 25/8 Timberline Road, Newry, Maine. All right, so the finding of facts,
Nope, you don't have any findings of facts yet.
we don't.
As this board, no. So, each of the board members in front of them should have a stack. You should have a table of contents. Those are your ordinances, that's the UDRO and the appeals ordinance, yep. And then according to the table of contents, I tried to group these together for you. So pages 1 through 4 was their pre-application.
Okay.
And then pages 6 through 25, the findings of fact from the planning board. This is where the 4 items that the appeal brief is drafted on. It gives you the 4 reasons why the planning board denied it. Find it, sorry. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. That's minutes, planning board minutes. And then you've got your application that they submitted, which is pages 26 through 311. I can tell you a big chunk of that is a HydroCAD report, and it's in here twice.
Okay.
But because they submitted it twice, you guys have to have a complete record. I have to copy it and give it to you twice. Next thing would be the correspondence, pages 312 through 334. This is the revised application, page 337 through 491. Something along those lines. Yep, right about there. 492 is the fire chief's letter. 496, 504 is Coral Palmer, who is the town's third-party review engineering firm. And another revised application that came in. Here we go, page 598. This is your findings of facts. This is the planning board decision, if you will. The recording secretary for the planning board has been doing this for 30 years?
Anyway.
At least 30 years. She's been advised by the town attorney on how to do this, and she has it down to a science. So, on page 6 of 8, you will see a bunch of findings of facts, and it'll go through why the board came up with their denial. But the planning board did not finish the review of the application, so I'm gonna instruct you that as you deliberate and go through this on the 16th at our actual Board of Appeals meeting, depending on how you all vote, this has to go back to the planning board for final review.
Either way.
Either way,
Okay.
yes or no, from this board, it has to go back to planning board. So I wanted you guys to understand that. And then you have your appeal brief from Norman Hanscom.
Hanson.
Hanson, huh? In Detroit. I knew he'd correct me. He caught my slip up in the spelling.
Oh.
And then that's your final part of this brief, okay? If you would all go to the Norman Hanson Detroit packet. Looks like this. Should have 607 at the top, page 607. Everybody got it? Okay? I have it.
I know you know, I looked at it.
Yeah. So I want to verify that there is no Exhibit E. It'd be on, in between page 622 and 623. Or right after 623, sorry. Can't count. it would be a letter on Sunday River letterhead.
Okay, so
If it's not there,
It's
that's
missing.
good. I'm
Yeah.
glad it's not there. Okay, I wanna make sure I did my job thoroughly.
You took it out?
I took it out on the advice of the town attorney because it was new evidence. It was not part of what the planning board got to review. So that's why it's not there. So if you see a lapse in the exhibit, it goes from D to F, that's why. I just wanted to explain that. Okay?
It's in your table of contents?
No,
No,
nope. No, it just says brief
okay.
in the table of contents. But you guys are sharp and you catch on that there's no exhibit E, you might be asking why, huh?
But in Norman, Hanson, and Detroit's brief, their table has that exhibit E in it.
Their table has that.
And our attorney said, no,
Take that.
it wasn't,
Yeah,
you know, it wasn't proposed to the planning board, so it shouldn't be in there.
correct.
Okay, I understand that.
So the attorneys will have things to say about that on the July 16th meeting. We will not discuss that today. Okay? And that is the full packet. So I've done my, okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, all I had
Procedure
to,
question?
yeah,
Okay.
this doesn't go, this is what didn't match up with this?
No,
No?
this.
Okay,
So inside of the UDRO, the Unified Development Review Ordinance of Newry, you'll notice on the front page, I have blacked out the last amendment and the attested date. We voted at town meeting for one change in this ordinance, and it was the definition. So it has been blacked out here and blacked out in the definition sections back in this ordinance. I was not gonna print this much paper, all because of one definition that got changed. So this is the 2024 version that the application was reviewed under, just so you all know that. And then in administration, under section 7 appeals, page 31 of the UDRO, conflicts with the 1993 appeals ordinance that we have.
I'm sorry, say again, what
Okay.
page?
Section 7 in the UDRO, the
Okay.
appeals section,
Yep.
does not jive with our ordinance from 1993 for the appeals board and how you all are supposed to operate. The attorney is aware of this. He will be here to help us all through that on the 16th.
Do you know what the discrepancy is? Are
Oh,
you-
notifications, notification is the biggest one. Just says I have to give all the abutters, you, the newspaper, the press, 20 days notice,
Uh-huh.
which our attorney says that's a lot. 7 days is usually typical.
Okay.
But this was plagiarized back in 1993 from another town, and we
Yeah.
went with it, we voted on it,
Yeah,
here we are.
sure.
Which is what all towns do with ordinances.
Sure.
Okay, so as you guys are working through this, if you see discrepancies, please note them, and we can ask the attorney, our attorney, his name is Jim Katsafikis, or we might have Brandon Mazer or Teddy, Teddy. There's 3 attorneys that have been in the email chain, so I'm not sure which one is coming here on the 16th, but we will have an attorney present to represent the town and help you through this. Okay?
so again,
Yeah?
we have 3 different
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
things going.
This is a manual to tell you how to proceed. This is from Maine Municipal Association. This is not an ordinance. This is a best practices. This is how you conduct a meeting, Mr. Chairman. It's gonna walk you through your process and how you do an an administrative review of all this information.
Okay.
Okay? This is your Bible. These are the rules that the ordinances that the planning board used to approve.
Joelle, what's the timeline? I mean, how long does the appeal?
You guys will meet the 16th. Hopefully you've all had time to go through this, make notes. You cannot talk to each other during these next 2 weeks. I know. No ex parte, I think that's what they call that. And then you'll make your own notes, conclusions, read the information that you have in front of you. And then when you get together on the 16th, the chairman and the attorney will walk you through, as well as the Norman Hanson in Detroit's client, and their attorney will be here also. And you'll walk through all of that.
And then they have, what, 7 days to make a decision?
Yes, they have 7 days to
Right.
file their,
File.
yes, yeah, which the attorney will
Yeah.
draft that, yeah, not us. Okay, not Amy.
So between the 16th meeting and the end of that 7 days, we will get together at some point?
No, you can make your decision on the 16th.
Yeah.
Within that 7 days, come day 7, we have to have something that you all have signed, so we will set another meeting date, approve of conditions, remand back to the planning board, whatever it is you all decide, and it goes back to the planning board. And the attorney will draft that, and you'll sign what the attorney drafts. Because we don't know how to draft that, so it doesn't go to Superior Court later.
Right.
Right. Okay.
I can see where this is going, but it's all right.
Yeah.
So we have all this information to digest,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually looked and could not find on the, Western Hills Access TV, what was the date of the hearing, the planning board meeting?
Oh, please get ripped off.
Yeah.
Hang on, I have that in my phone. I wanna say May 18th, but I'll double check that. May 21st.
May 21st?
Yeah, and it's on top, it's the date of the findings of facts
Oh, okay.
in your
I think you got
packet.
meeting minutes and,
You have meeting minutes, you have everything you need right there. Yeah,
Yeah, so we can watch
The
that.
minutes are in here somewhere?
the minutes are,
Okay.
the minutes are pages 6 through 25.
Cool.
I numbered every single page. So as you are all,
yeah. Well,
so as you are.
I got mine last week, so I went through it all.
Yes.
It's very easy to follow anything
Good.
with the table of contents, that helps. a lot.
I tried to do it in the order of which they submitted information, is how the planning board received information. Becky's very diligent about using that. If you look at the findings of facts and the dates of everything Becky has recorded, you'll also see that that's how I put together this packet. So as you work down through the findings of facts, I use that as a table of contents. It was a very handy piece of advice someone gave me.
Must have been an attorney.
Close.
Speed things up,
Close,
right?
yeah.
Stay on track.
Yeah, so as you're making your notes and you want to refer back to a specific sentence in a paragraph, it's paragraph 2, page, 590, sentence 1, sentence 2. I mean, you guys, I did not number the sentences, okay? Attorneys would. Yes. But it gets you back to the right page, so as you're reviewing this, or you have questions later for either one of the attorneys, you can say, hey guys, can we all flip to page 47 and look at this? It'll just help you as you make your notes, and it'll help the attorneys. Okay?
But in just general terms, what was the objection? It has to do with driveways? Is that
It has to do with the roads.
the road?
Hence the fire department,
We can't go into this too much right now, because
Okay.
this is just your annual meeting, you elected your officers, I can't go into the meat and potatoes of the actual appeal. But yeah, you'll read the findings of facts, you'll see why the planning board denied the application, and then you'll know exactly what you're gonna be reviewing, and I'm sure what the applicant's attorney will raise at the night of the meeting. So no talking amongst yourselves, don't call your neighbors, don't blab to the press, please.
I can't bother you for clarifications, and if I have questions about this stuff?
You're not supposed to, right?
No, I'm not supposed to.
Okay, yeah.
But-
Just-
But if it's a matter of, hey Joelle, what part of the ordinance do I need to look at? You can ask that question,
Okay,
but you can't ask me something specific about the appeal. If it's, where do I find the measurement for? I'll help you with that.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay? I don't mean to run your meeting, but do you have anything for 7, 8, or 9?
No,
And do you want to schedule your next meeting? Which we've already given the public
July
notice for.
16th, sounds good.
There you go, all right.
It's 5 PM.
At 5 PM, please.
Overtime.
I do.
Yeah.
Those two do.
Get something done.
I did
Make
not.
me secretary of everything.
So that's right, I don't care, I'll pay you.
So I can motion for adjournment.
You can.
One question
Okay.
first about that meeting. Is it like a planning meeting that's limited to 2.5 hours, or it just takes as long as it takes?
You guys can set that out to, right on the onset of the meeting. You can say this meeting is 2 hours long, we will vote if we want to extend it by half-hour increments.
Okay.
I think that's reasonable. I haven't dug into this in years, because I haven't had to do an appeal for quite a while. It might actually detail that out in that book. Okay. But yes,
That's a public meeting?
It is a public meeting.
Yeah.
The public can't speak, and he will gavel that real quick. Somebody starts just running away at the mouth to say, no.
Sounds
this
like the
is-"
public already has their lawyer anyway, so they're not gonna wanna speak. I mean, whoever's doing
The appeal,
Yeah.
the appellant has their attorney, yes,
Right.
but we're likely to have other people in the room.
Well,
Yeah.
the spies are in it, so.
Oh,
Have there
wait,
so far been, like, a butters,
they've all been notified.
but were any abutters like, interested enough to come to the planning meeting? Or was it just,
We had a couple show up for some of
You had
the
a
first
couple
couple of
letters
meetings.
about the fence, hoping they would keep the fence there.
We're not talking about that today.
Okay.
Yes, we have had correspondence from
Take a
abutters,
walk.
There were a couple minor
correspondence would be in
It's
our
in there.
packet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I included everything. In the official appeals board record, I have copied. The legal notices that I hung up at the post office, one here in this door, it's on our website. I also wrote letters to abutters and emailed and or mailed them to them, so that everybody's got it, and then the legal notices in the newspaper, so the official records are all here. Everybody's got their notice, everybody has receipt of their notice. I had everybody's email addresses, because thankfully, they either emailed me questions about the original application, or they had building permit. So, I was like, hey, here's some info.
Now we can.
Now you can adjourn. Yeah, I think, Walter, you good? Did
Yeah, I am.
Okay, yeah, Rick, you good?
Yep,
Okay.
second the motion.
Okay.
And can we
All
note
those
the
in
time,
favor?
please?
1:18.
We'll have to do that.
Yeah,
for
somebody
time,
does.
yeah.
Yeah.
Time check.
Were you unanimous?
Yes.
Okay. Meeting adjourned, thank you.
Thank you.
All officers.